Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking through some MLB player props I like on Prizepicks for today, for Tuesday, August the 30th. We do have a big Tuesday slate. I think we have a full 15 game slate tonight, so there are a lot of props to choose from. There's a lot on the board right now. Prizepicks, they posted their pitcher props about an hour ago, and I've kind of been looking through everything, checking out everything, and I found 3 props that I like for Tuesday's slate. So we're going to share the 3 plays I like for today, guys. We're going to talk through, why I like each play. Before we do get started, we will recap our plays from Monday. Monday slate did not go well at all, man. Monday was a brutal day, just kind of all around. Did not hit our 2-pick on YouTube. The 2 plays we gave out. Patreon plays didn't do well at all either. But we gave out 2 picks on YouTube. Neither one of our plays hit. We took the over on Frankie Montas' fantasy score. I can't remember exactly what he finished with, but I think he pitched 6 innings. Had 6 strikeouts, and if you told me before the game started that Montas was going to pitch 6 innings with 6 strikeouts, I would have felt pretty good about him getting 34 fantasy points. But he gave up 4 runs. He gave up 2 solo home runs, and he gave up a 2-run home run to Ohtani. And obviously, giving up 4 runs, it's going to be hard to overcome that. It's going to be hard to get 34 fantasy points giving up 4 runs. I didn't see Montas giving up that many runs, definitely against that weak Angels lineup. I thought the fantasy score was good. I was debating taking his over strikeouts, but it got bumped up to 6. I didn't like it at 6 versus 5.5, and I guess I should have took his Ks. It is what it is, man. But that play missed, and then the over on Rangers Suarez fantasy score also missed, and that was like the most unlucky play ever. I mean, Suarez was pitching a gem. He pitched, I think he got through 3 innings or 4 innings. I think 3 innings. He was pitching great. I think he had 3 shutout innings with like 3 or 4 Ks, was looking really good. And then the 4th inning came around, and Suarez just completely went to shit. I think he gave up 6 runs in the 4th inning, did not even make it through the 4th inning, and obviously went under his fantasy score. He did have a chance to get through the 4th inning. There was a play. It was kind of a routine ground ball. If Gene Segura would have made the play and got him out of the inning, Suarez would have been fine. But Gene Segura, he just didn't make a clean play. It was ruled an error. And then after that error, I think Suarez gave up like a few more hits. He gave up a few more runs. And then the Phillies ultimately wound up pulling him from the game. But he was pitching so well. And then it all just went to crap in 1 inning. And that's, that's just how baseball is, man. Baseball is not a sport that you can never celebrate too early in baseball, especially when you're betting on pitchers, just because if you're betting on a pitcher's fantasy score and they have it just all it takes is 1 bad inning for them to just go to shit, and everything goes down south. But that was a unfortunate day. Monday was not a good day for us, but we move on to Tuesday's slate. Hopefully today can be the day that we get back on track, make some money. It is a big slate, and there are a lot of options. So we're going to talk through our 3 plays just real quick, guys. Hit that like button if you have not yet. Hit that subscribe button as well if you do enjoy these YouTube videos. If they do help you, hit that subscribe button. Also, if you are new to Prizepicks, if you have not checked out Prizepicks yet, make sure to sign up for Prizepicks. Use promo code NOAH. When you do, when you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code, you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. And as always, you can take a look at all the props that Prizepicks has available for MLB right now. They do offer a ton of other sports outside of just MLB, so if you like to dabble into other sports, you can definitely give Prizepicks a try. They have college football props up right now. Obviously, the college football season kicked off on last Saturday. We got some games this Thursday. I don't really do college football props, at all. I do watch some of the games, but they've got college football up. They got esports, soccer. They even have future props. So if you want to do like the full season for NFL, you can do stuff for the full season. They do already have some stuff up on the board for week 1 of the NFL season, which obviously kicks off next Thursday. So a lot of stuff on Prizepicks. Highly recommend you guys get over there. And if you have not signed up for Prizepicks, definitely use promo code NOAH when you sign up. Get your first deposit match up to $100. But let's talk through our 3 plays for Tuesday. So first off, we're going to start off with the total bases prop. So we actually have a hitter prop that I like for today, and then we have 2 pitcher props that I'm liking. So for the hitter prop, we're going to go to the Cardinals-Reds game. The Cardinals, they are in a great spot today, going up against Justin Dunn. Right now, the Cardinals, I believe they do have the highest implied run total on the slate. They have a 6.1 implied run total. Expected to be pretty good hitting weather in Cincinnati tomorrow. Going to be 82 degrees with winds blowing out to center at 8 miles per hour. So think it's a really good spot here for St. Louis. Justin Dunn has just not pitched that well this season. He's just not been good in general. He's given up a lot of hard contact. You look at his ERA this season, he's got a 5.12 ERA, a 5.12 ERA. His expected ERA is even worse, a 6.84 expected ERA for Justin Dunn. Doesn't really have much strikeout stuff, just a 17.9% K rate. He has a really high walk rate, so he lets a lot of guys on base. He gives up, high expected batting average, 268 expected batting average, 402 WOBA, exit velocity. He's giving up some hard hit balls as well. And when you look at his pitch mix, he throws mainly a fastball, curveball, slider. And looking at the Cardinals, specifically Paul Goldschmidt is the guy that we're going to talk about. He hits those pitches really well: fastball, curveball, and slider. If you look at where Goldschmidt ranks this season, you look at his pitch mix or his run values by pitch type. So the type of pitches that he hits well. Four-seamer, he's got a 17 run value against the four-seamer. That's the highest out of any pitch. Batting .305 against four-seamers this year with a .415 WOBA, .571 slugging. Against the slider, one of Dunn's primary pitches, 13 run value for Goldschmidt, .293 batting average, .525 slugging, .415 WOBA. And then the curveball, only has a 4 run value against the curveball, but high batting average, .424 batting average against curveballs, .606 slugging, .503 WOBA. So all three of Dunn's primary pitches, Paul Goldschmidt hits really well. We know Paul Goldschmidt in general is a great hitter. He's a guy that has a ton of power, makes a lot of contact. He rarely strikes out, has a fairly low strikeout rate this season. And all of his numbers are like in the top 15, 20% in the league. He ranks in the top 10% in the league in expected WOBA, expected slugging. He has a really high walk rate. Obviously, walks are not really going to help us here with when we're betting on total bases, but I think the matchup is just really good going up against Justin Dunn. Obviously, the 6.1 implied run total for St. Louis suggests that it's a good spot. Dunn's been getting hit hard by righties and lefty this year. Against righties, allowing a 369 WOBA, 424 ISO, so he's giving up a ton of power to righties. He does have a higher strikeout rate against right-handed hitters, but again, as we mentioned, Paul Goldschmidt, not a guy that really strikes out much. Just a 21% K rate against righties this year, which is about league average. But fly ball percentage, 48% fly ball percentage. So Dunn gives up a lot of fly balls, gives up a lot of hard hits, 48% hard hit rate as well. The matchup's just really good. I think the Cardinals are definitely going to put up some runs today. You would expect Paul Goldschmidt to probably be contributing to those runs. Obviously, Goldschmidt's probably the best. He is the best hitter on St. Louis. Has really good numbers, against righties and lefty this year. Goldschmidt's kind of known as a lefty masher, but even against right-handed pitching, 251 ISO, over a 400 WOBA. The guy just rakes. He's a great hitter. It's a great matchup against Justin Dunn. I think we're going to see the Cardinals put up some runs today. Hopefully, Goldschmidt will be contributing to those runs. I like his over or taking more 1.5 total bases. I like this spot a lot for St. Louis today. So that's our first prop. It's a hitter prop. I know hitter props can be a little bit volatile, but I've said this before. I don't give out hitter props too often. When I do give out hitter props, they're usually ones that I feel pretty good about. But our next two plays, one's going to be a pitcher fantasy score, one is going to be a strikeout prop. So for pitcher fantasy score, looking at a guy in a really, really good matchup today, going to be targeting Shane McClanahan, taking him to have more than 44.5 fantasy points against the Marlins. And I know this number is really, really high. 45 fantasy points, that does feel like a lot to get. Obviously, McClanahan is going to have to pitch a really good game to get 45 fantasy points. But I think the chances of him pitching a really good game are pretty high here. The McClanahan, he's one of the best pitchers in the league. He has great numbers all around the board. He has great strikeout stuff as well. Has a 32.5% K rate this year, which is in the top 7% of the league. Has one of the highest whip percentages in the league. Has a very high chase rate. All of his numbers on Baseball Savant are really good. On Baseball Savant, red is good, and look at all this red that you see for Shane McClanahan. In the matchup, the matchup's as good as it gets. We've talked about this before. Talked about it really all season. The Marlins have been the worst team in the league against left-handed pitching this year. They have the highest strikeout rate in the league, 28.7% K rate against lefties, and all of their numbers are pretty much dead last in the league. They're dead last in batting average, dead last in on-base percentage, slugging, OPS. They're second to last in ISO. They're dead last in WRC+. The matchup's fantastic. You would think McClanahan is going to be able to dominate here. You look up and down this Miami lineup. It is just loaded with strikeouts. 32.9% K rate for John Birdie this year against left-handed pitching. 36% for Brian Anderson. 31% for Cooper. 27% for LeBlanc. 58% for Encarnacion. He's been striking out a ton against lefties. 42% for Burdick. He's been striking out a ton against lefties. And then 32% for Luke Williams. He's been striking out a ton against lefties. Really, the only guys that don't strike out against lefties in this Marlins lineup is Rojas. He has an 11% K rate, and then Fortes, 10% K rate. Every other hitter has a K rate above, 27%? I mean, that's absurd. And you look at these numbers, I mean, nobody has good numbers against lefties except for maybe Brian Anderson. I mean, Brian Anderson's got a 236 ISO, 357 WOBA, but there's no power in this lineup. I mean, you look at these ISO numbers. Almost every hitter has an ISO below 200 except for Anderson and Fortes. The WOBA numbers are pretty low as well. I mean, they all have WOBAs below 300 except for Anderson. The strikeouts are through the roof. I mean, all these guys except for Rojas and Fortes strike out a ton. So you would think this is going to be an easy matchup for McClanahan. You would think this is a spot that he would dominate in. McClanahan has kind of been up and down lately. I will say that. He's been struggling a little bit. But he did bounce back in a big way in his last start against the Angels. He pitched really well. 6 innings, 6 shutout innings, had 9 strikeouts, finished with 49 fantasy points. Looked solid in his start before that against Kansas City. 7 innings, 8 Ks, allowed 2 runs, 43 fantasy points. He did kind of struggle in those three starts against Cleveland, against Detroit, and against Baltimore. But he's really started to right the ship the last 2 starts against Kansas City, against the Angels. Obviously, this is probably the best matchup McClanahan could possibly get. He dominated against Miami this year for what it's worth. He has already faced Miami once this season, went 6 innings, 6 shutout innings, had 9 strikeouts, finished with 55 fantasy points when he faced the Marlins earlier this year. So I think it's a great spot for McClanahan. He should dominate against this Marlins team. They've been the worst team in the league against left-handed pitching. If he goes 6 innings, allows maybe 1 run, gets 8 strikeouts, that would put him at 43 fantasy points, and maybe he's able to get a win here. I mean, normally McClanahan's pretty good at not allowing many runs. Hopefully the Rays can give him a little bit of run support. But even 7 innings with 7 Ks, I mean, that's something McClanahan could definitely do today. That would put him over his fantasy score. I mean, right now his K prop is set at 8. I have a hard time seeing McClanahan get more than 8 strikeouts. If he gets 9 strikeouts today and doesn't get 45 fantasy points, I would be very surprised. I think if McClanahan goes over his K prop and gets more than 8 strikeouts, he's almost certainly going to finish with 45 fantasy points or more. And I could definitely see a scenario where maybe he only finishes with 7 Ks or maybe even 6 Ks if he even goes that low. He could still go over his fantasy score with 6 Ks. If he pitches 7 shutout innings with 6 Ks and gets a win, that would put him over his fantasy score, which could happen. I mean, there's definitely chances for him to get a win here. I don't expect him to give up many runs. I mean, he maybe gives up 1 run, maybe 2. Obviously, if he gives up 3 runs or more, we're probably gonna it's probably gonna be tough to hit this bet unless he just gets a shit ton of strikeouts. But I definitely think with how bad this Marlins team has been against lefties this year, I don't see McClanahan giving up many runs today, maybe 1 or 2 at most. And he should be able to rack up a ton of strikeouts here because the Marlins, they lead the league in strikeout rate against lefties. And obviously, McClanahan, one of the best strikeout pitchers in baseball. So that's our second prop for today that I'm liking. And then our third and final play to round out our 3-pick entry, going to be going to the strikeout category. And this is one that I do like quite a bit. This line actually did get, it was actually at 5.5 when Prizepicks first posted their lines. It got bumped down to 5 because right now, looking at the odds, we're going to talk about Max Fried. Looking at Max Fried's strikeout prop on DraftKings Sportsbook, it's set at 5.5. It got bumped down on Prizepicks because the under 5.5 is minus 170. I was surprised to see so much juice coming in on the under for Fried, just because Fried is a really good pitcher. Now, his strikeout stuff is not the best by any means. He just got an average K rate, 23% K rate this year, but he has a pretty good chase rate. He's able to get guys to swing and miss on pitches outside the strike zone. His whip percentage is about average. But I like this matchup a lot against the Rockies. The Rockies actually have been solid against left-handed pitching this season, but they do struggle outside of Coors Field. This is a team that I'm always fine targeting whenever they're outside of Coors. And if you look at their numbers this year, their strikeout rate's been about middle of the pack, 22.4% K rate against lefties on the road this season. Most of their offensive numbers are a little bit worse as well. Batting average, they're 9th in batting average. On base percentage, if you look where Colorado ranks there, they're 19th in on base percentage. Slugging, the Rockies rank 21st. In general, when you get this Rockies team outside of Coors Field, they are definitely a team that you can attack. And they do strike out. They do strike out more against lefties outside of Coors. Their K rate against lefties this year on the road is 22.4%. If you look at it just on the season, or even let's look at it at home. So let's look at left-handed pitching at home this year. The Rockies, their K rate at home against lefties is the lowest in the league, 16%. So 16% K rate at home against left-handed pitching compared to 22.4% on the road. I mean, that's a big jump. Obviously, getting this Rockies team outside of Coors Field's a huge boost for obviously a guy like Fried. We can take a look at the Rockies lineup, kind of look at their hitters and the strikeout rates for their hitters. There's only 3 hitters that don't really strike out against lefties. Jose Iglesias, 12.6% strikeout rate. Brandon Rogers, 15.4%. And then Elias Diaz, 17.6%. Every other hitter has a K rate above 23%, or 22%, I should say. Randall Grichuk against lefties this year, 22.6% K rate, 29.9% for CJ Cron, 23.4% for McMahon, 30% for Montero, 23% for Hampson, and then 28% for Bernard. So there are definitely strikeouts available in this Rockies lineup. I expect Fried to pitch a good game here. Now, does he rack up a ton of strikeouts? I mean, I guess that's to be determined, but he's, right now the Rockies, they only have a 3.2 implied run total, so they're not expected to put up many runs here. For looking at most of Fried's props, I mean, right now he's expected to go 6 innings. Like his outs recorded prop on DraftKings Sportsbook, it's set at 18.5 with slight juice on the under, so pretty likely that Fried pitches 6 innings. I don't see him giving up many runs. He's minus 160 on under 2.5 runs, so he should be able to pitch deep into the game and hopefully be able to face a lot of batters. And I think he can get us at least 5 strikeouts. I do like getting this line at 5 just because I think there's some safety there with the push. Maybe Fried goes, gets through the start and he finishes with 5 strikeouts and he pushes. If that happens, I'm okay with that. Hopefully our other 2 picks, and if our other 2 picks hit, then we'll still get a 3x payout. But I think when you play this game out 100 times, I think Fried finishes with 5 Ks or more, definitely 60% of the time against this Rockies team. The Rockies, again, they're a matchup I like to target when they're away from Coors Field. Fried has faced the Rockies once this year, but it was in Coors Field, so we kind of, I guess take that with a grain of salt. But when he did face the Rockies in Coors Field this season, he pitched a pretty good game. He didn't get a ton of strikeouts. He only got 4 strikeouts, but he pitched 8 shutout innings in Coors Field. I mean, that's really tough to do. Fried looked good last time he faced the Rockies. Hopefully today he can rack up a few more strikeouts. I do like his over 5 Ks. I like getting this line at 5 compared to 5.5. I just think, there's a chance he finishes with 5, and if he does and if it pushes, I'm okay with that. Again, hopefully our other picks hit. We can still get, a 3x payout. But I think more times than not, Fried gets 5 Ks or more, even 6 Ks or more. Just given how much this Rockies team struggles away from home, away from Coors, given they strike out more on the road as well, I think it's a really good spot for Max Fried. Hopefully he can get us 5 Ks at least today, and I definitely think he can. So this is what I'm liking for our 3-pick for Tuesday's slate, guys. Again, it's a big slate. There's a lot of games today. These are 3 props that I liked when I first took a look at the board on Tuesday night. As always, I wish you guys the best of luck if you are tailing. I know our MLB props have not been doing very well lately. We've been definitely struggling with MLB lately. But I know we're going to right the ship. As long as I continue to put the research in, and if I'm making the right bets, I know in the long run it's going to work out for us. It's definitely been a tough stretch, though. I feel like I'm making the right bets every day. It's just nothing's been going our way lately. MLB's definitely been really fluky as of late. But we got another slate tonight, a big slate, and hopefully we can all make some money tonight. But again, guys, good luck. Appreciate you watching these videos. Hit that like button if you did enjoy. Hit that subscribe button as well if you have not yet. And also check out Prizepicks too. If you have not signed up for Prizepicks yet, get over there. Make sure to sign up with promo code NOAH. Get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. But that's all I got for tonight, guys. Again, wish you the best of luck. Thanks as always for watching these videos. Hope you enjoyed, and we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.